Hey guys, Dib the Awesome here to give you another Monster Legends Guides, where I talk about monsters' moves, their rune sets, partners, all that jazz. Today we are talking about Mmo Monster, who is the second monster to get, or like the second legendary monster to get in the Fairy Tale Island progression that's currently out this week. It's got like 2 days left and stuff like that. Alright, so here's everything you need to know about Mmo Monster. He's a dungeon monster. He's solely like his kit's meant for like dungeon fighting alone. You use them on adventure maps. You use them for dungeons. That's about it. You don't. You can use him for competitive play, but he's not the best one. You can, in all honesty, you can use anything in competitive play, but in the sense of everything else that exists at the moment, he's not the best one to put in competitive play. In fact, I'm kind of happy that he is the second monster to get between him and Cookie. Son Cookie's a lot better in competitive play than he is, in the sense that Son Cookie does like more. He has better move. His kit makes is what makes him really great. He does AOE blind, AOE dazing. That's really nice. This one it's not he's not too great in the sense of he's not too great in the competitive scene nowadays, just because of AoE life regen. Healing is starting to exist. Like we're seeing healing more from beyond the natures. We're just seeing AoE life regen, and that goes against that's the no. That he does not like that at all. This guy was badly hurt by that. He's badly hurt by the sudden presence of like AoE healing, or just like AoE life regen, and stuff like that. His power is 3,311. This is a pretty low power. It's pretty dirt low for dark attackers, and this guy is a dark attacker, believe it or not. You could say it doesn't matter too much because like two of his moves are percentage based, but in in the final set, the final move set you'll have at the end, you even use the 30% one, and that's about it in terms of percent damage. I mean, like in terms of just competitive play, if you're actually using this thing in competitive scene, like this is what it mostly is talked about, is like in the competitive scene. This is mostly guides. My guides are mostly about competitive play, and I'm just saying how this guy plays out at the moment. So he runs at a pretty low power. This isn't good for him. It's not the most healthiest thing to have for this power. His life is 26,239. This is alright for an extra guy. I will say he runs alright as an extra guy person. He's just there to do extra guy things, but he's not there. He shouldn't be the mainstream damage, I guess. So yeah, this is a pretty okay life. It's not the best, but he can take a few hits, and I can imagine people putting 2 life runes on it, and that's totally fine. 2 life runes and a speed rune, that is. His speed is 3,421. This is mess speed. It's alright speed. He's faster than most attackers, but that's one thing going for him, but that's about it. And all that jazz. He does not do well in healing fights. Don't bring this guy to a healing fight. He'll be like sitting on the bench while thinking, well, crap, well, crap. Alright, his trait is hardened. This is actually really nice in the sense that it's not anything that's like daze, magnetism, or anything nightmares. It's better that it has this than anything else. This guy is based on a YouTube monster, and before I keep going into this guy's kit, I don't like the fact he's in the Fairy Tale event. It doesn't seem much sense that he is. I guess he represents the night, like a knight and stuff like that. That's totally fine, but I feel like they could have done another like an actual Fairy Tale person, like Sir Slumberly, even though people would much rather have this thing than Sir Slumberly. I'm just saying it would go with the theme better. It would go with Fairy Tale, because in like fairy tales and stuff like that, I've watched a lot of like movies and stuff like that pertain to Dullahans, and what a Dullahan is, it's like a spirit, and it's an empty suit of armor, but it's living. Those are really cool, and like it has like a head. It has a detached head and stuff. Those are really cool. That would be really cool if Sir Slumberly was in there to represent a Dullahan. That would be really cool. I guess this might be where it was going with it, but yeah, it doesn't have. It doesn't. I feel like that'd go better with the theme, but. Just for theme's sake, I'm not saying Sir Slumberly is better than MMO. I'm just saying it would go with the theme. It would go with the theme better. It would go way better with the theme. Don't forget to subscribe. I will say this is probably the strongest possession in the game, due to the fact that it lasts for 3 turns. Enemy is subscribed for 3 turns. It is also confused and gives double damage. So for 2 turns, and it gets precision and double damage. This is great. If you actually do, realistically, if you do wind up bringing this thing to a fight and you do get this move, you are in a really great spot. You are in a phenomenal spot at the moment, and I congratulate you. If you get this on the first turn, you are in such a great position, because now you have a guy fighting for you, and you're just in a great position at the moment. You just are. You now have you literally have 4 monsters with you right now. If you do get this, it's nice if you get this thing, but beyond that, though, this is the only major competitive move it has. This is a really great competitive move, but it's his ultimate, so you may not even get it in that fight. So let's see, skill groups 1. Nothing really to talk about in skill groups 1, except like one dislike. You can put this on like a map set, but just keep in mind it's just like 10%. It's no different than just poisoning somebody. So if you're not too into that, you don't have to run it. But this is basically good for like adventure map. You only ever put this move on the adventure map sets. He Hister Strike? I think that's how you say it. Hister Strike. Deals moderate dark damage, steal life from target, requires cooldown. You may run this move just for the sake of sustainability. You may run it just for that. You'd pair it up with Hijacker Bash because it's also 50%. Neither of those are 100% life steal. Since it's kind of old, it is kind of old too. It is the 6th dark monster to exist in Monster Legends. It kind of just falls behind that sense of like 100% stamina. It doesn't have like 100% stamina. Life steal, I mean, so that kind of hinders it. But yeah, it has it. You can still life. It's sustainability. You just look at it at the sense of you're sustaining and stuff like that. 2 dislikes. This damages target by 20% of its total life, requires cooldown. I really wish these percentage, in all honesty, if this move was like an AoE, it'd do a lot more. It'd benefit you more, but it's not an AoE, sadly. It's just a single target move, and it always does 20%. So this is nice in the fact it's percentage damage. Like, in all honesty, this guy is like excels at percentage damage. That's why he's great for boss fights, in all honesty, for like adventure map and stuff like that, because he does percentage damage. He doesn't do it, I mean, like the more health the guy has, the more damage it takes, obviously, because he's taking a percentage. He's actually taking like 20, like if it has 100%, it's taking 20%. Now it's 80% life left, stuff like that. It's that sense. It's always doing, like, in all honesty, if it does 2 dislikes and 3 dislikes, it's taking away half your hit points at this point. And stuff like that. Mmo Broadswords. Deals moderate special damage to all enemies, may give nightmares to all targets, weak wires, cooldown. This is a 35 damage AoE. I can see you run this if you are doing a damage set, but that's about it. If you're doing an attacker, you should totally run this AoE. But beyond that, don't run it. If you're not doing this for like a damage, like a build, don't run this AoE. Hijacker Bash. Deals heavy dark damage, steals life from target, requires cooldown. Back in the day, this was heavy damage. Nowadays, it's not. It's just now it's just like the average Joe, like attacker damage. Attackers usually have this kind of move on them nowadays. So it's 50 damage. It's 2-turn cooldown. You combo this with Hister Strike. I mean, like, you get, like, obviously you're sustaining more. The idea is just to sustain yourself. That's totally the only reason why you even run these 2 moves are together. You can just run like this one just because it gives you, again, it's meant to just recover your life. It's just totally meant for that. Don't look at this guy for major damage. I will say that. Don't look at this guy suspecting to do a major damage. But you can, I guess you can run this one instead if you just want to do more damage. I mean, obviously 50 damage is better than 40 damage, but yeah, you can do that. You may do that. 3 dislikes. This damages the target by 30% of its total life, requires cooldown. This is the move you totally run on it, just because it's like 30. You're taking 30 damage. I mean, you're taking 30% of their life away. That's huge. You've just ripped an arm off. You've literally ripped somebody's arm off in just one single move. Even if this guy was like damage reduction to death, he'd always, like, if he had this move up, he's always going to take 30% off you and stuff like that. This can be a huge like difference in like a long end fight and stuff like that, where you need to get rid of something, but you're like just totally damage reduction to death at the current moment, and you do have this move up, and then they only have like 20% life, or like anything below 30%. That's huge. You'll kill some. You can probably save yourself, but that's a very very situational thing. That's very situational and stuff like that. And nowadays again, like I said in the beginning of this video, AoE life regen. That's what actually hurt its kid if it recovers that life back. If it heals that life back, or like they're shielded and it doesn't apply it, you're in a lot of trouble. You're in so much trouble if you don't get to land this 30% move and they heal it back and stuff like that. You're in there's like no point of even bringing this guy to the fight. Every like helps, heals ally by 50% and applies a random good effect. Requires cooldown. This is a really nice ally healing move. This move has saved me. I will not lie. I've brought this thing to a team war at least once in my Monster Legends career, and this has actually saved me. This is a nice healing move. It does save you. It can possibly save you from some crap. It's really great. Especially if you have like 2 life runes. Oh my god, it's so funny. You just get like so much out of it. This random effect, it applies to either Mmo Monster himself or like the ally you put it on. It's totally random. Between him and you, it's just between him and the person he's giving it to. It lands on either one of them. It's not both of them. It's just one of them. Only one of them gets the buff. It's either him or the monster you're healing. I will say if you get the 20% healing, that's funny. That's funny if you get the 20%, because you can either get like 20% healing or 20% life regen for 3 turns. That'd be really funny. Because at that point you just healed 70%. That's really great. All right. Sorry, that was just cats and stuff like that. So yeah, overall, what you want to run with this set? Here's the whatchamacallit, the adventure map build, the dungeon build. You do every likes help. You do 3 dislikes, 2 dislikes, and 1 dislikes. That's the build for the adventure maps. Here's a build for competitive play. If you're literally actually considering using this guy for competitive play, here's the moveset I'd have you run. I'd have you run every likes helps. Well, I guess you don't have to run it. If this guy's just manually your damage, you probably don't want to run every likes helps, even though it could possibly help you. You don't have to run it, I suppose. I suppose you could run Hijacker Bash. You can run 3 dislikes, MMO Broadswords. And it's your choice between 2 dislikes or Hither Strike. That's totally up to you at that point. Keep in mind this thing cannot one-hit the Dark Monster unless it has really high-end runes and you double damage MMO Broadsword it. That's the only time you're one-hitting the enemy Dark Monster. It is totally the only time you are doing so. That's about it. If you don't want to run if you don't even want to run if you do want to run a supportive move on MMO Monster on an attacking build, that's totally fine. It can actually save you. It has actually saved me once. I've only ever used this thing in a fight like twice in the span of my career, or like MMO like Monster Legends career, in a team war fight, and it has saved me. This thing can actually this move can actually save you. Just in that one instance, it saved me and stuff like that. It was pretty funny. It was really funny. And if you get, don't forget to subscribe. That'll also help you. This guy's actually considered, like, in terms of just fighting. I mean, just like in terms of fighting alone, this is actually considered the worst YouTuber monster ever in terms of just fighting and competitive play and stuff like that. It's just considered the worst nowadays because it doesn't do all that great with everybody else in its category, or just like all the other YouTube monsters do, like, more competitive like things and stuff like that. Vanus has the possibility of slowing everybody, like stunning people. He's got great damage out. There's like great natural damage output. H2O Delirious, AoE Freeze, AoE Daze. And he's got fairly low cooldown single target moves that are great, stunning and stamina drain. Terrorizer does a lot of damage. He doesn't even need to do percent damage because his natural damage is really heavy hitting. He does high end damage. Wildcat, same story. He does really great single target damage. Louis, Louis up on the wiki. I'm gonna do a guide on him tomorrow. He is phenomenally great all around. He's basically Wildcat, but immune to freeze, and he does all the things Wildcat, like all of the effects Wildcat does, but better. He does like 50% life shield, and he does instead of like damage return, like a percentage base back, he does magic reflect, which reflects the attack back at them. That's some serious stuff right there. He's a pretty great monster at the moment. I can't wait to do the guide on him and stuff like that. But yeah, you get the point. This guy is pretty outclassed by everything nowadays in terms of the sense of competitive play. Totally get this guy if you love him. Get whatever. In all honesty, if you love this guy, get him. Just if you wanted the sense of a competitive sense of this guy, this is the input. That's the actual output. I'm pretty sure everybody would agree with. I'm pretty sure that's the common statement at the moment with everybody, that this guy is great for dungeons, but that's about it, or just adventure maps, and that's about it. Timeron, I don't want to say this, but Timeron actually does his job better. Timeron does his job just way better, in the sense that he just instantly makes the boss his health, and then you can just kill it with a buffer and your damage dealer. It just ends the fight there at that point. So you have this guy just solely for fun when you're just messing around with the game, and that's totally fine. If you love this guy, totally get him. And stuff like that. Or if you got him in the event, now you know what he's used for and stuff like that. So that's everything you need to know about Mmo Monster. If you had any questions or requests of what you want to see next for a guide, put them in the comments below. I am doing all the fairy tale guides, so you don't have to ask me about that. you don't have to ask me about any of the fairy tale creatures. I'm doing all of that as of right now, or just at the moment, and stuff like that. So yeah, I'm Did the Awesome. I'll catch you guys later.